everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'll be sharing a layout using 3 photos and it is Multi-Photo Monday. So be sure to check out my description box where I'll have everyone listed who's taking part in this hop today. I will also go ahead and list the items that I use on this layout as well. So the photos that I'm documenting today are of my grandson where he met Spider-Man, and these photos were taken on one of our trips to Ocean City, and this was on the boardwalk. Now you can see my grandson is a big fan of Spider-Man. He's wearing his Spider-Man t-shirt. He has his Spider-Man stuffed toy with him, and we were not expecting to meet Spider-Man or any of the other characters we met that day, but he was so excited to meet him. So on this layout, I am definitely going to be using some reds and blues just to highlight the colors in my photo. And I am going to use that star pattern paper as my background. Now the pattern papers that I'm using today will be from Elle Studio Noteworthy collection and XoXo as well. And here I'm just pulling out some reds and some blues that I think I will use today. You can see that star pattern paper that I'm using as my background is very busy. So I wanted to sort of contain it a bit and add a border around it. And I will do that by adding some blue cardstock. So first I am going to remove 1 inch off 2 sides of this pattern paper. And I will go ahead and choose 2 different shades of blue from my cardstock. And of course, I decided to go with the darker shade of blue, which happens to have a piece missing on the bottom, as you can see there. And I suppose I used it maybe to mat a photo on previously. So here I decided to go ahead and use that one. And I did gut what you're not going to see under the black and white paper. I did go ahead and gut that part of the cardstock out. So that way here you can see as I hold it up against it, I can definitely piece it together and add the missing edge. But I decided to go in with some red pattern paper instead, just to add a little something different to the edge. And I will add that to the lower right corner. And then I'll also bring in some of that red to the top left as well. So once I'm done working on my background, I am going to work on the mats behind my photo. And here I'm going to pull in some red pattern paper, but you'll see I will stick mostly to the blues because I felt like the red pattern paper was a bit too bold and took away from the focus on my photos. So once I have these pattern papers exactly where I want them, I'll go ahead and adhere them to my background. Up next, I will bring in a third color. Now I have the black and white, which I consider a neutral, and then I have my blues and my reds, and my third color will be yellow. And I think that went really nice with the blue and the red. So I'm gonna mat my photo on a very thin border, and I will also go ahead and mat them again on that blue cardstock that I used to mat my background paper on. Next up, I will go ahead and adhere them to my background. So now I will begin working on my title, and I am using these puffy glitter thickers, and these are from Amy Tan. I will go ahead and link it down below if I can find them online. These are a beautiful teal blue color, and I am gonna spell out the word fan with them as well as my. So my title will actually read meeting my favorite fan, and you'll see later on in this process my title does change. And of course that is Spider-Man meeting his favorite fan, which is my grandson. So I will add the word my and fan using those stickers, and here I'm going to put in the word favorite using these puffy stickers from Elle Studio. And I will use some black and white alpha stickers for the word meeting. Now, the alpha stickers gave me the hardest time to line them up all nice and straight. So what I usually do when that happens, I add them on there wonky, as you'll see right now. So once I'm done adding my title and those little square alphas that I am adding wonky on purpose, I will begin working on some embellishments. And I kept it really simple because this layout turns out really busy, and it's mostly because of that star pattern paper as the background. So I'm gonna have about 3 clusters on here, one to the top left corner. Then I'll add one to the lower right, which will also include my journaling card, and a tiny cluster next to the title as well. So here you can see I added in my journaling on that memo card, and it simply reads, "Today Spider-Man got to meet one of his biggest fans, Jaden, one of our highlights on our walk on the boardwalk at Ocean City." And I need to go back in and add the exact year that these photos were taken. I always forget to check the year of my photos before I begin working on my layouts, so it's something I always need to go back in and add later on. So right now I'm just adding some word phrases using the puffy stickers and die cut pack, and I'm also adding some wood veneer pieces as well. And you may have noticed that I moved up my memo card from the lower right to right next to my photos because I felt like that space was empty, and I did not want to add a lot of embellishments there because this layout is so busy to begin with already. So I just moved up my journaling card and those embellishments a little bit closer to my photos. Up next, you'll see me move my cluster up just a tiny bit more, and I am using this tool that helps me get under my die cut pieces and get them off the page. And I will go ahead and move the entire cluster up. Then I'll go ahead and add in some more yellow and blue to the bottom of that cluster, and I also add in a little puffy border strip as well. So you can see that the left side of my cluster, my photo cluster, I do not have any yellow at all. So I'm just adding in some of that yellow pattern paper. And now I'm just gonna add some splatters, and I am using some black India ink to add these splatters, and I am adding them really lightly. I do not want these splatters to overtake this layout at all, so I'm adding very, very tiny splatters, and they're mostly around my clusters. Up next, I will go ahead and move down the cluster that's to the left top. I felt like my other two clusters were connected to my photos a lot more than that cluster was. It was just off to the top all by itself. So I will move it down just a tiny bit. And I do damage my pattern paper just a little bit, but I will add in some puffy star stickers to sort of distract and cover up some of the pattern paper that was ripped up with just a little. So here I'm gonna make some changes to my title. My final title will read Spider-Man meeting his favorite #1 fan. And you can see I'm changing out the word my to his right now. And then I'll also go ahead and add the word Spider-Man and using these black and white alpha stickers. And of course I'm adding them in wonky like I did before. And I added it all into one line here, and you can see Spider-Man just, it just looks too long, and I was not liking how it looks. So I split up the word into two words, spider and then man. And I'm also going to add in some of these puffy stars to the top as well. So I really love how this turned out. It's extremely busy, all of the colors on here. I love the addition of the yellow. I love what that brought into this layout instead of just going with the blue and the red, which I originally thought that I would go with. And here you can see some close-ups. Don't forget, go ahead and check out the other ladies on this hop today. And come back next month for another Multi-Photo Monday. So I want to thank you all for watching today. Until my next video. Bye.